welcome to the Yarn Chicken. My name is Elizabeth. I am a knitter based in Sweden. I've been knitting for 16 years, mainly socks in the beginning, and in the last few years I've branched out into knitting more garments for myself and for others. And today I wanted to go through with you my knitting plans for summer. Sweden is a fairly cold country and it's May and we're going into spring and summer, but as you can see I'm still wearing quite a warm sweater. This is the Hraudrangi by Dagbjört Gudmundsdottir, and I love this sweater. I made it for myself and my partner this last December and it was a very fun project. But today I want to go through with you my plans for summer. What am I knitting this summer? So I want to be more intentional with my wardrobe, the things I let into my life or the things I create with my own hands. And that's because of both the physical and the psychological space they take up in my life. If I'm buying or making a piece of clothing, I'm responsible for it until it is worn to pieces or it's rehomed. And the more things I have, the more energy I have to spend on taking care of the items. So I am quite intentionally going through and finding pieces that are missing in my wardrobe, either something that I'm actually missing every time I want to get ready for a certain event or for a certain setting or a certain season, or it's something that I am convinced would be a joyful addition to my wardrobe. So with that in mind, I have been cooking up 3 plans for summer. So I want these projects to be things I will actually enjoy wearing, and I want them to be enjoyable while I'm making them, because I will be spending hours upon hours with these projects on my needles. So what I have in mind for this summer is, the first piece is something that I've been actively missing for a few years, I think. It's a white v-neck cami or tank top, and it's something that I've noticed because I do like either quite a high neckline like this, or I prefer a shallow v-neck. I find that silhouette or that cut fits me, or fits the style I want to project best. And I recently knit a beautiful blouse, the Oh My Hyacinth blouse by Oh My Knits, and it has a v-neck and it is made out of a single strand of very fine wool, so it's quite see-through and it's all over lace. And I didn't have anything good to wear underneath it, so if I want to be in a professional setting, for example, I don't want to be just wearing a bralette or something underneath. So I want a white cami with a v-neck that can stand on its own, I can wear as it is, and something that can also be layered. And I was umming and ahhing about which cami to choose. There are so many good choices out there, and I was considering, do I want it to be a pattern? Do I want it to be a lace? How do I want it to work? And the cami that I chose is the Camisole number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It's an all-over patterned rib knit in the round top down with 3.5mm needles. I chose it because it has the v-neck that I'm looking for. It has I-cord straps that you can adjust. You knit them and then you adjust them afterwards before you sew them on to see which length suits you the best. And you can also choose how long the body is. The pattern comes in 6 sizes in a finished bust circumference of 73 to 115 centimeters, which isn't great when it comes to inclusivity. The pattern has 0 negative ease or 0 ease at all, and from what I've heard, since it's a rib, it's quite stretchy. And I've chosen to knit it in the pure silk from Knitting for Olive. I saw that Knits made the same pattern in the pure silk as well, and she said that it had quite a bit of the fabric, the finished fabric, stretched out, and therefore I'll be knitting a size small, although I would normally knit a size medium. I chose the colorway Cream Fleur for my yarn because I wanted the off-white, not quite the white, but the more soft white, and the pattern is available in English, Danish, Swedish, Norwegian and German. Next up, I've had this inspiration picture pinned on my Pinterest for ages. It's a fairly relaxed thin sweater with a v-neck or with a button band, and it's open, and a collar. And I have been on the verge of buying this or a similar item before, but it never quite fit the way I wanted it to, so I thought, why not make it? So I was thinking about different kinds of patterns. Do I want it to be plain? Do I want it to be patterned? Do I want to make it with cables as my inspiration picture actually is? But then none of the patterns that I found gave that really summery feeling, and I wanted to be a thin sweater that I can wear in the summer with just as is, and something that will also be appropriate to layer in spring and in the fall. It's not something that I think that I will be wearing in October in Sweden, but you never know. But anyways, I've been also looking at the nautical theme that has been quite the trend in the knitting world, and I saw the beautiful Gemma polo by Cookie the Knitwear. Her picture is this beautiful purpley lavender main color with a white contrast, and I'm very keen on green. I love green. I wear it as a neutral, so I was thinking about different green combinations. There is a very big football team in Sweden that has a grass green and a white stripe in their flag, and I don't want it to be too similar to those colours. Although they're beautiful together, I don't want to be a walking football supporter when I'm just rocking my own knitwear. So I was thinking about different yarn combinations. I found this beautiful yarn from Dale Garn, which has a lot of beautiful colours, and I was almost convinced that I had the perfect combination. And then I went onto the Ravelry page of the Gemma polo and looked at the suggested yarn, and then I clicked on through and I saw that this has the same colours, and I won't be worrying about the gauge or the yardage, because the Dale Garn is a bit thinner than the recommended yarn, which is the Lanagatto Super Soft. And then I thought, why not do as I'm told and knit it with the recommended yarn? So I ordered the yarn. The yarn is called grey. The main colour that I will be using is called grey, but I've seen it in real life and it's very much a dusty green. And the white that I'll be using is called the just natural, so it's not the white, the bright light. It's not the bright white, but it's again this softer white that I find suits me and suits my needs best. When I was looking for a pattern, I stumbled over the Elizabeth blouse and by Petite Knit, and I was a bit curious because it had some of the features that I was looking for, but I wasn't quite sold on the raglan construction because I want the sleeves to be more marked, which just sold me even more on the Gemma Polo by Cookie the Knitwear. Cookie the Knitter. So the Gemma Polo is a drop shoulder seamless construction that starts with shoulder shaping and the button band before joining in the round, and the pattern calls for a 5mm needle, which I am very excited to be using because I've been knitting on tiny needles for the last few months, so the 5mm will be a good break for my hands. The pattern comes in 5 sizes, ranging in a finished bust of 101 to 131 centimeters, which again isn't great when it comes to size inclusivity. You could, of course, always go up a needle size, but that would mess up the proportions lengthwise as well. And as we know, bodies aren't shaped in the wider you are, the taller you are, so the proportions will be out of whack if you go too far off gauge. I will be knitting the second size based on the regular fit. I don't want it to be too snug and I don't want to drown in it either, so I think that the second size with a regular fit will be just what I'm looking for. The pattern is available in English and in Korean. And as for the colour selection, I wasn't too sure that I would like the stripes. I don't own a lot of stripes, not anymore. I did wear a lot of stripes when I was in high school, but then I've mostly been going for unicolor or a pattern like this. But then I did knit a baby blanket in the green and the white for this football team, because the baby's parents are big football supporters of this team, and I really liked the effect, and I thought that it could be a beautiful garment for summer as well. So I will be branching out a little bit. I will be keeping it within my comfort zone when it comes to the fit, which I know that I like, and the colours, which I know that I like as well, but I will be stepping out of my comfort zone a bit when it comes to the stripes. The last project that I have in mind is a bit of an oxymoron, but as I said, I live in a cold country and I am weirdly fascinated by lemons, the lemon pattern. I actually painted my kitchen wall black with bright yellow lemons on it, and I absolutely love it, and if there is a lemon pattern somewhere I will be interested in it. So I knitted a pair of lemon gloves, mittens, in November of last year, and I really enjoyed the pattern. I unfortunately chose a yarn that was too thin. I should have known better, but the yarn was too thin, so I haven't gotten much use out of it, but the pattern idea was beautiful. So I've been drafting my own knitting pattern for colourwork socks in a lemon pattern for summer. Is it reasonable? Is it sensible? No. Will I do it anyway? Yes. So what I'm envisioning here is a pair of colourwork socks with a white base and a yellow lemon pattern, and I will be using my family knitting recipe for socks. It's what I started out doing. It's my first project I ever knit a pair of socks, and I have a sock recipe or a sock formula that works well for me and for my foot, and now I will be incorporating colourwork into it. But bear in mind that I live in Sweden and we have a few hot summer days if we're lucky, and as soon as I'm done with these socks I will be able to wear them because it's cold enough. And I have started already. I did my charting and I'm knitting up a test sock, and I'm using the Drops Fiesta for this. It's 75/25 wool and nylon, and I'm using 2.5mm needles. I'm not a very experienced colourwork knitter yet, so I'm working on that. And here are the beginnings of that sock. You can see that the colourwork is starting to take shape. I'm not 100% sold on the yellow. I think it's a bit too dull for the pop of yellow that I want the lemon to have, but this is what I had on hand, so I will be knitting up this swatch for at least one pattern repeat, so I have the entire lemon slice before, and block it before I decide if I need to adjust something in the pattern, or if I need to go change my needle sizes, and then I will probably get the proper yarn colour that I want, a more solid yellow colour, because this is a bit of a mild yarn, which I think this is the colourway Dandelion, and it looked better online than it ended up being. Other than that, I will be continuing with my two monster projects that I've been working on for ages. It feels like I've had them on for ages, but it's actually just been 2 months. And the first project that I have that I have hibernating at the moment, because I lost Yarn Chicken twice when it came to these. These are the Feel Good trousers by Novita, and I'm knitting them in Drops Cotton Merino, and they are supposed to be a relaxed trouser with some positive ease, drawstring in the waist, but I wanted to challenge myself, so I will be adding pockets. I want them to be those slanted pockets that you see on actual trousers, and I will be knitting the back of the pocket in a contrasted colour, because I think that would look quite nice. I did block and measure for before and after blocking, and the fit still came out a bit tight now that I've actually tried them on as trousers, so I might have to go back and redo the first bit of the leg to make it a bit wider, because in the thigh and around the hips it fits quite well, but just around the calf it's a bit too snug, I think. But this will be folded up. I have it inside out now after blocking, but this has a cuff that folds up, and I think this will be good once it's finished. And the second project is something that I know is not a disappointment, because I've already tried it and I am really, really proud of this. So this is the Oh My Figure dress by Oh My Knitwear. No, Oh My Knits. And this is an all over 2x2 rib with shaping for the sleeves, for the bust, for the waist, for the hips, for the thighs, and the arms as well. It has this beautiful twisting shaping around for the finishing of the arm. I am, as you can see, it's a very ribbed dress, so it looks tiny, but it does fit. I finished the first sleeve and I am currently working the thigh portion, and I have 2 more pattern repeats, I think, until I hit where I split for the splits, and then I have the second sleeve to finish as well. And this I am knitting in Handmade's double bamboo tencel and Knitting for Olive silk mohair. And the yarns, you can see the green is just such a beautiful green, and the base, the tencel, the bamboo tencel, is a dark grey, a cool tone grey, and I wasn't too certain how they would mix, but I do love the result of the combination. It makes it not look quite so very flat. I think it brings out the texture and the rib and the shaping very beautifully because of the marling effect. And both of these projects I'm knitting on 3mm needles. So as you can see, I have a few different projects with different needle sizes, different complexities, different actual sizes of the garment that I have to choose from in the coming few months. And I'm very excited to finish some of these up, to try the new pattern that I'm drafting for the first time. I've never made my own color work chart before, so I'm very excited to see how that turns out. And I am very happy to be adding 2 very staple pieces to my wardrobe in the cami and the Gemma polo that I foresee myself getting quite a lot of wear out of. The dress I already know that I'll be wearing a lot. I had a dress in a similar colour and a similar cut, not as high neck and not with splits, but the same bodycon ribbed dress, but I've worn it to death. The elastic of it is just dead. It doesn't fit me anymore, and this is a replacement that I know that I'll be able to use for years to come. With that said, I want to thank you so much for being here today and watching. If you did like it, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing what you have planned. So please do let me know in the comments. Do you have any fun knitting plans for summer? Have you knitted any of these patterns and have recommendations for me, or something that I need to be mindful of so I don't make any silly mistakes while working these patterns? Thank you so much and take care. Bye. So much